Hello, book babes and baddies, and welcome back to Romance and Rosé, where we exclusively read romance and hardly ever drink rosé. Did you also, like I, binge all 8 episodes of season 1 of the Off-Campus series this past week? I thought so. And if you haven't, girl, get on that. That show was so tea. Literally obsessed with it. But after finishing the finale, I realized I'm so obsessed with Dean and Allie. I'm so fucking obsessed with them that I thought to myself, it's been so long since I have read the book. And honestly, after watching the show, I almost started to question, have I read their book? I'm not sure. There's so much about their story that I cannot recall. But I do have their book, signed, sealed, and delivered by Elle Kennedy herself. I met her at the last book bonanza that there was. So kind, so sweet. Love her. But I find myself on this Sunday afternoon free as a bird. I have no responsibilities for the rest of the day. And I thought to myself, why does it have to end? Why do I have to wait till season 2 to find out what happens with our dearly beloved? So let us gather here today and see how much of the score we can get through. It is currently 2:40 in the afternoon. We have 373 pages. I've got a coffee and a can-do spirit. Let's see how this goes. Oh my god, we're starting with the breakup. Yes. Because honestly, fuck Josh Groban. Okay? That's exactly what that kid in that show looked like. Like Josh Groban's younger, more immature brother. 79 pages in. This conversation between Dean and Bo is having me cackling. The Twilight conversation. Okay.
Hey, do you know Twilight? Excuse me? Twilight, the vampire book. What about it? Okay, so you know how Bella's blood is extra special? Like how it gives Edward a raging boner every time he's around her? Are you fucking with me right now? Do you think it happens in real life? Pheromones and all that crap? Is it a bullshit theory some horn dog dreamed up so he could justify why he's attracted to his mother or some shit? Or is there actually a biological reason why we're drawn to certain people? Like goddamn Twilight. Edward wants her on a biological level, right? Are you seriously dissecting Twilight right now? God, I am. This is what Allie has reduced me to. A sad, pathetic loser who goes to a bar and forces his friend to participate in Twilight book club. I don't know whether to make fun of you or refer you to a shrink. I've never met a dude who's actually read that book. I haven't read it. My sister was obsessed with those books when they came out. She used to follow me around the house and offer me recaps against my will. Sure. Blame it on your sister. But on the next page, no, explaining things again, Twilight gets brought back up. Because he's like, hey, you just need to go out with someone else. And he's like, I can't. My dick won't let me. Can you repeat that, please? My dick is being difficult. I tried to jerk off to porn last night, and I swear to God, the damn thing wouldn't get hard. Then I thought of this girl. I correct myself because I promised Allie I wouldn't tell anyone about our night together. And bam! Hard as rock. Bo eyes me thoughtfully. You know, I don't think we're dealing with a Bella's magical blood situation here. No? No. I think you've imprinted on this girl's pussy. I choke out a cough from behind me and turn in time to see our waitress walking by, her cheeks red, lips twitching as if she's trying not to bust a gut. I turn back to Bo. What do you mean? I mean you're facing the Jacob quandary. You imprinted on her pussy, and now it's the only pussy you can think about. You exist solely for this pussy, like Jacob and the weird mutant baby. You fucking asshole. You totally read those books. Nuh-uh. I've only seen the movie. To be a fly on the wall, to be this waitress walking by in this conversation, I would pay money. That's hilarious. Anyway, moving on. Just hit chapter 9, 90 pages in. Here is an argument that I get really annoyed by, okay? If someone is unhappy in a relationship, the better thing to do would be to break up and not cheat on your girlfriend or boyfriend, correct? But if you break up with someone because you're not happy in a relationship and you immediately sleep with someone or get together with someone after you end that relationship, you're also the bad person. No, wasn't I a good person for communicating that I wasn't happy and I wanted to end this
before pursuing something else. I'm also fully convinced at this point, 9 chapters in, that maybe I have never read this book. Nothing feels familiar, and I don't feel like I know what's happening next. I don't know why I thought I did. I really thought that I did. I thought I listened to these audiobooks a really long time ago, and I bought the first 3 books to have as like shelf trophies because I had read them. And I knew certain things about Dean's characters, but I think I'm realizing everything I knew about these characters was like within the context of other like characters' books, and I don't think I actually made it to the score. So, fresh eyes, baby. Good morning, gorgeous. We are gonna wrap up this book this morning. We made it all the way to chapter 26, which I think for not starting till like what, 3 or 4 p.m. yesterday, it's pretty good. Pretty good. And even with the way I've been able to see more clearly how the TV show deviates from the actual book when it comes to Dean and Allie and some of the other side characters during the time of this book, I don't mind it. I really don't. And I feel like Mika and Steven in the TV show playing Allie and Dean encapsulate the energy of these 2 characters really, really well. So on one hand, I am really grateful that I hadn't read The Deal in so long, and it has now come to my attention that I don't think I ever read this book before going into the TV show, because I think I was able to see it maybe being like more pure of heart, if that makes sense. I think one of the biggest things that stood out to me as being starkly different than the TV show is, I don't know if they plan on wrapping this in season 2, but so far there is no mention of beef with Hunter. And I know that that was like a huge plot device that they used in the finale, right, of the show. And here, Hunter is like a sophomore freshman on the hockey team who kind of, in a word, looks up to Dean. He's just kind of like another bro, but it doesn't really seem like they have much of a relationship or that Dean gives a shit about him really at this point. And the person who he really hates, who kind of hates him, is this new assistant coach that's on the team who he has bad blood and history with from high school. Turns out in yesteryears, he used to date that coach's daughter, and they both got really drunk one night, slept together. He didn't know that it was her first time and kind of wasn't really feeling it anyway, was kind of planning on breaking up with her, but then when they got really drunk and she suggested it, it was just kind of like a drunken mistake on both their parts. But when he broke up with her shortly after because she got really clingy and he realized it definitely wasn't a relationship he wanted, the coach did not take it well. He felt like he used his daughter, chewed her up and spit her out, and he's sort of making him like emotionally pay for it even all these years later, especially since he was drunk making that decision. He now all the time heavily insinuates that he has a problem with alcohol and that he's someone with like 0 to no impulse control. And that's been hard for Dean to navigate, especially now that he really is different now. He's grown, he's matured. Even in the ways that he has man-hoard since being in college, that experience really made him realize ways that he wasn't communicative and where he should have been more upfront and honest about how he was feeling beforehand. And so now all the girls he hooks up with kind of know the deal. They're not going in with false expectations. They're not thinking it's going to be something that it isn't, which has really sort of turned him into this here for a good time, not a long time sort of playboy. But let's dive in and see how these last 100 pages wrap us up. I have seen the Beau spoilers. I have indeed. So we're in for a treat. Glad it's in the morning and I'm not wearing makeup just in case tears are in store. I love Little League hockey coach Dean. He's so cute with kids. Okay, update. We're at chapter 32. Beau has died. Not a super emotional moment as a reader because we didn't have to experience it. It was sort of just like information that was dropped at the end of a chapter. We dive right into Dean's sort of self-destructive behavior, right? Thank God he hasn't cheated. None of his self-destructive behavior have had to do with other women. Small miracles. But just like drinking a lot, getting high. Oh, and the pièce de résistance, he missed her play. And I'd be pissed too. And she is worried that her dad is right when he said that Dean is a well enough boyfriend and all for college, but that it's not going to last because he's lived too much of a cushy life, that he's not equipped to handle the hard things. And if anything goes wrong, that she won't be able to count on him. And all of this, him really burying his head in the sand and not dealing with his grief of his buddy, is kind of proving that theory right. And after him missing her play that she reminded him of many, many times, and then coming home to him like partying, hyped up on Molly with football players, she said, no, enough is enough, and she's dumping him. As she should. And I'm only not like bugging about it because I know they're gonna get back together. I mean, come on. We have like 2 chapters left, something like that. So I'm excited for him to get his head out of his ass. That poor little girl crying about her pink skates. Make it right, Dean. Okay, we did it, fam. We binged the score in a little over 1 sitting. This was so much fun, you guys. I loved this story, and I think it's just what my soul needed after wrapping up the off-campus TV series, because I am just so obsessed with it. It was so good. And with that Dean and Allie cliffhanger, I really just needed to continue with them. I wanted to see how their story wrapped, how it compared to how the TV series was adapting it. And like I said, even with the things that I noticed weren't exactly the same in the book, I still felt like the spirits of the characters were very much still in line. I think you can enjoy both for what they are, even with those differences. The ending of this book was very sweet, super satisfying. Dean's apology tour, swoon. And the fact that Allie just like needed time to figure things out and to just be with herself for a while. I think they tried to pull those emotions in Allie's character earlier on in the show than it appeared in the book. But I also really loved how she didn't need an exorbitant amount of time. It wasn't years apart, her proving her independence. She said, give me like a month and some change and I'll be square. And it was. And they came back together. Both of them had a plan. They had goals. They had vision that included each other in those plans. And I love how the ending gave way to be like a perfect segue into book 4. With Tucker and his surprise baby. I mean, come on, with all the sex these college hockey players are having, one of them had to knock up someone. It was inevitable. I would rate this book 5 stars. For a college contemporary spicy romance, I don't really feel like there's anything I would have changed about it or that I wish was different or better. So highly recommend. If you are obsessed with the Dean and Allie in the show, just like I was, I think you'll be just as obsessed with the Dean and Allie from the books, and consider it a really great way to kill time while we wait for season 2. I definitely think I want to do more binge reading vlogs in the future because your girl's got reading goals, and as a mood reader, sometimes I can find myself getting into a cycle where I start a bunch of books at once and all of a sudden I'm juggling like 6 or 7 different reads. And then it takes me forever to finish one of them because it's taking me 7 times as long to get through all of them in equal measures when I'm keep bouncing between each stories. I don't have a problem keeping the plot straight in my head. I'm good at juggling plots and keeping them in their different boxes, if that makes sense. But I do think sometimes when I'm juggling that many plots, I'm more likely to lose interest in one or to give it a lower rating than I would have if I had just read it in a shorter time span as intended. Thank you so much for watching. I post videos every Friday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so I'll see you next week. Happy reading. Love you. Bye.